for those of you that actually haven't read the Carnivore Diet, I have the book right over here. And what exactly does Shawn Baker say on page 116? Well, under the section Calories and Metabolism. Do calories matter? Yes, they do. If you burn more calories than you ingest, then you lose mass. So not even Shawn Baker disagrees with the fact that calories in, calories out matter. When people say calories in, calories out does not matter, they don't mean it as a literal statement. What calories don't matter figuratively means is that the quality of the nutrition that you get from the foods that you consume is more important than the quantity of calories that you get from the foods that you consume. Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in and welcome back to another Carnivore Q&A. Steven here with TV4Work, and today we're going to be talking about calories in, calories out. And whenever we talk about calories, someone is going to get their titties in a twist. However, we're going to talk about it anyway, and one thing I want to make note of before we get on to the topic at hand is me personally, I am not a fan of calorie counting for a couple of reasons. Number one, most people suck at it and they're going to overestimate how many calories they actually need. And then the second reason is for those people that actually are able to track properly, they're only going to be able to do it for 2 to 3 days and then they're going to give up because it becomes very tedious. So for me personally, I would rather focus on incorporating healthy habits over calorie counting, and I actually made a video a few years ago. It was called How to Lose Weight Effortlessly, One Habit at a Time. I'm going to include a link right up over here. But for me personally, I would rather have you guys focus on healthy habits over counting calories. The only times I ever really focus on calorie counting is if I have a fighter who's getting ready to make weight for a fight, or if I'm working with a physique competitor who's getting ready for a competition. Aside from those two scenarios, it is a strategy that I very rarely, if ever, employ. However, even though I rarely employ it, I am not naive enough to think that you could eat whatever the hell you want on the carnivore diet and calories don't matter, and as long as all you're eating is meat, it's impossible to gain any fat. That is absolutely nonsensical. However, there are a lot of people that actually believe that you can literally eat as many calories as you want on a carnivore diet without gaining fat, and they preach that as though it is meant as a literal statement, and it is completely nonsensical. And one of the reasons why a lot of people preach this is because they lack understanding of metabolism. When we look at metabolism, if we were to break it down most simply, it would be the sum total of all chemical reactions that occur throughout the body. And there are 37 heptillion chemical reactions that occur every single second, and every single one of those chemical reactions is going to affect the calories out part of the equation. So that's another reason why I'm not a fan of calorie counting, because with all of the reactions that occur throughout the body, it is literally impossible to accurately track down to the last calorie how many calories you're actually burning throughout the day. Now, a few reasons that people say counting calories is BS. Number one, well, people like to say, I was gaining weight while counting calories on the SAD diet, the standard American diet, and losing weight without counting calories on the carnivore diet. Well, this argument is completely useless and it doesn't mean anything, because if you were gaining weight while counting calories on the SAD diet, remember how I said most people suck at tracking and they overestimate how much they actually need? Well, that is why you were gaining weight. You were counting calories, but you did not track it properly, and you were actually in a surplus and not a deficit, and that is why you were gaining weight. And you were losing weight without counting calories on the carnivore diet. Congratulations, you happen to be in a calorie deficit without consciously trying to be in a calorie deficit while you were on the carnivore diet. But that is why you lost weight. It wasn't because calories are BS, it is because you were not tracking properly. The second argument that I hear a lot of, I'm losing weight eating more calories on the carnivore diet, and I was gaining weight eating less calories on the SAD diet. Again, this is a nonsensical argument, and it comes down to people not understanding exactly how nutrition physiology works. Because with regard to the thermogenic effect of food, different foods are going to burn at a different rate, or you're going to expend more energy burning different foods. With regard to protein, 20 to 30% of the calories that you are going to consume are going to be burned off through the thermogenic process of digesting all of that food. Whereas with carbohydrates, it is a 10 to 15% of those calories. So if you are consuming 100 calories of protein and 100 calories of carbohydrates, in the carbohydrate section, you are actually going to be consuming about 85 to 90 usable calories. The other 10 to 15 are going to be burned off through the digestion process. And with regard to protein, you're actually going to be consuming about 70 to 80, whereas the other 20 to 30 are going to be burned off through the actual digestion process. So you can consume more protein and you're going to burn more calories by consuming more protein as opposed to carbohydrates. So even though you're eating more calories on a carnivore diet and you're losing weight as opposed to gaining weight while eating less, it doesn't mean that CICO is bullshit. All it means is that you are burning more. And then another thing worth noting with regard to this right over here is if you are metabolically unhealthy, let's say you have issues with insulin resistance, you're not able to properly control ghrelin levels, you have chronically elevated cortisol, your estrogen to testosterone balance is off, you have problems with thyroid, all of those are going to affect how exactly it's going to affect your body when it comes to losing weight. Whereas if you're metabolically healthy. Let's say you go on the carnivore diet, your insulin sensitivity improves, your cortisol levels, you're stressed, you're able to bring those down, you're able to better manage your testosterone and estrogen levels, your ghrelin is better managed, you have better issues with regard to your thyroid. All of those are going to make it a lot easier to lose weight. So just because you're eating more calories on carnivore and you were gaining while eating less on the standard American diet, it doesn't mean that calories in, calories out is BS. All that means is that you are possibly getting healthier, and because you are getting healthier, your body is going to be able to burn those foods a lot better, and you're not going to be able to store onto that fat as much. So that's why that's a nonsensical argument. Then, this is one of my favorites. This comes up every single time we talk about calories. I can name 3 doctors who disagree with you and say calories don't matter. What does that have to do with anything? I can name 3 doctors who think the earth is flat. Are we going to listen to the opinions of 3 people when we have close to 8 billion people on this planet? No, that's a nonsensical argument. And another thing is, with regard to I can name 3 doctors who disagree with you and say calories don't matter, the 3 doctors that always get brought up, Ken Berry, Paul Saladino, Shawn Baker. And with regard to Shawn Baker does not believe in this. Paul Saladino does not believe in it. And Ken Berry, I'm sure he doesn't believe in it literally. He probably believes in it figuratively. But if we were to look at Shawn Baker a couple years ago, he was trying to lean out. And when he wanted to lean out, he switched over to eating leaner cuts of meat, and then he would have fattier cuts of meat on his refeed days. If calories in, calories out don't matter, then why did he switch to leaner meats, aka meats that contain fewer calories? If calories in, calories out don't matter, then Shawn Baker should have just kept eating high-fat meats, as it wouldn't have made a difference. However, he didn't. And to further illustrate the point, for those of you that actually haven't read The Carnivore Diet, I have the book right over here. And what exactly does Shawn Baker say on page 116? Well, under the section Calories and Metabolism. Do calories matter? Yes, they do. If you burn more calories than you ingest, then you lose mass. So not even Shawn Baker disagrees with the fact that calories in, calories out matter. When people say calories in, calories out does not matter, they don't mean it as a literal statement. What calories don't matter figuratively means is that the quality of the nutrition that you get from the foods that you consume is more important than the quantity of calories that you get from the foods that you consume. So when people say calories don't matter, it is not meant to be taken as a literal statement. It is meant to be taken as a figurative statement. And if you are constantly in a calorie surplus, it doesn't matter what diet you are following. You could be on a vegan diet, vegetarian, paleo, keto, carnivore. If you are in a caloric surplus, and if you do that long enough for a long enough period of time, you're going to get fat, you're going to develop health issues, and you're not going to achieve your weight loss goal. So if you want to lose weight, you need to be in a calorie deficit. It doesn't matter what diet you are on. But those were just a few points that I wanted to bring up. These are just a few of the BS reasons why people will say that calories don't matter. However, none of these are valid reasons. So if anybody ever gives you one of these reasons, do not listen to that person, because they don't understand how exactly the human body works, how exactly calories work, how metabolism works. So you really don't want to listen to that type of individual. But anyway, that's it for today's video. If you guys have any questions with regard to anything that I discussed today, go ahead and ask your questions down in the comment section so I can help you guys out. But that's pretty much it for today's video. If you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to smash that like button so I know to keep making these types of videos in the future. And if you're either new to the channel or haven't subscribed yet, be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell, as I'm going to be uploading new videos every single day. That's it for today's video. Thanks for tuning in, and I will see you again tomorrow.